Good morning, my dear students. I hope you all are doing well at home, staying safe, staying indoors, maintaining social distancing. During this time of Corona crisis, let's focus on some of the aspects of our writing section. And we'll first today discuss how to write a job application. See, the very first thing that you have to keep in mind while writing a job application is that it is always in response to some advertisement that has appeared in any of the national newspapers. So what you all have to bear in mind while writing a job application, I would discuss it with you today. So initially, we'll talk about the format. The format includes, the very first thing in the format is the sender's address that would be given to you in your question paper. So you will start with the sender's address on the extreme left-hand side of the answer sheet. You have to bear in mind that everything that you write is on the left-hand side. So we'll start with the sender's address. After the sender's address, we'll leave a line and we'll put the date. And you have to keep in mind how to write the date. For example, today it's the 5th of April. So you'll write 5th April 2020. No slashes in between. You're not to write as you write in your maths notebook or maths paper. Okay, so you have to write like this: April 5, 2020 or 5th April 2020. Thereafter, we'll again leave a line and we'll write the receiver's address. The receiver's address comes afterwards, and then we have after the receiver's address, we'll again leave a line and we'll put the salutation. And after the salutation, we have the subject. After the subject, we'll again leave one line, and I'll tell you a few lines that you can use every time you write a job application, because the body initially, the initial few lines, they remain the same. Whatever vacancy is there, the few lines are the same. So I'll tell you what all you can write in a job application, the initial few lines. So you can say, in response to your advertisement in the Hindustan Times or whatever newspaper is given in the question paper, or if it is written, the National Daily, so you can write the name of any newspaper. So you will say, in response to your advertisement in the whatever newspaper, dated dash for the post of dash, whatever vacancy is there, I wish to offer my candidature for the same. Then you will move on to the next paragraph, and students, keep it in mind whenever you are switching on the paragraphs, you have to again start from the left hand side. This is very important. You cannot start from the center of the line, you will start from the left hand side only. See here, if you look at this is the way you have to write. So the paragraph ends here, and thereafter we'll switch on to the new paragraph from the left hand side only. So you can say, if given a chance, comma, I will work with dedication and sincerity and prove to be an asset for the organization. So these things can remain the same whatever vacancy is there. And after that, we'll again move on to the next paragraph, and you will say, I am enclosing a copy of my biodata for your perusal, for your reading, for your scrutiny. And I'm available for interview on any of the working days between 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. or whatever time is suitable for you, you can say that. Then we'll move on to the next paragraph, and we'll just conclude by saying, waiting for a favorable response from your side, thanking you, and then we'll have the complimentary clause, yours truly, and your signatures would appear after that. and then you will enclose a biodata. You have to keep this in mind that biodata is to be written always, whether or not it is asked in the question paper. Because what mistake many of the students commit is that they just write, I am enclosing a copy of my biodata, but biodata is not given there. So we need to add the biodata. If you're writing, I'm enclosing a copy of my biodata, the biodata has to be there. So like this, when you have your answer sheet like this, on one side of the answer sheet you will write the application, on the other side you have to write the biodata. Keep it in mind that the biodata appears on one complete page. You cannot start it from this side and half of it appears here and the other half on the next sheet. So it will not look presentable. So for that you need to have an entire page reserved for the biodata. Now I will tell you a few things that you have to keep in mind which are very important in a biodata. What all points you have to keep in mind: your name comes, then your father's name or your husband's name, then your address, contact number, your email ID, your marital status, educational qualification. So when you're giving educational qualification, the highest qualification comes always first. You start with the highest qualification, that is post-graduation, then comes graduation, then senior secondary, then so on and so forth. So make a table for your qualification. You have to mention the university or the board from which you had passed your exam, the subjects that you had offered, percentage you got. So this always comes in a tabular form. Thereafter, you will have your professional qualification. For example, if you are asked if you're applying for a post of a teacher, then your professional qualification is B.Ed. So make a separate heading, make a separate point for professional qualification. Then you can add the languages known, then your job experience, the previous experience of your job. Then you can also add your salary drawn, the salary that you were getting in the previous organization. The next point would be salary expected. And last but not the least, you need to mention 2 references. Now what are references? Whenever you leave an organization, you get a reference letter. You can add the names of those persons, their designations and their contact numbers in the references. So at least 2 references you have to give in a job application. Now see, this was the format, the body, the closing, the complimentary closing and all. So but you have to keep in mind that if you will just write the format, that is not going to give you any marks. So format alone doesn't carry any mark. So you need to add the body as well. So that is why I've told you certain lines which you can remember, which you can learn for the body of the letter, for the body of the application, because these lines can remain the same whatever post you are applying for. So this is all about today's presentation. So I hope you have understood it, and that is all from my side for today. Have a nice day. Goodbye.